I'm hoping you recognize this riff. It's the intro to Slow Dancing in a Burning Room by John Mayer. And the purpose of this video is not to teach you the song, although you probably learn the song as we go through it, but to show you how cleverly John Mayer uses target notes and the chords to actually create really nice melodies like this. So we're going to analyze, for example, let's see what he's doing there. Say, for example, this over here. Those two notes are actually part of C sharp minor. And that's your opening chord if you go look for the tabs and for the chord charts for Slow Dancing in the Burning Room. The opening chord is C sharp minor. C sharp minor. One more time. There's the notes and you can hear it. And we're going to break it down step by step how he goes through this. We're going to explain what a target note is, what a passing note is, and what a chord tone is. Now let's just first of all get those three definitions out the way. A target note is the note you finish on. So if I go, that's my target note. I finished my phrase on that note. If I did this, that would be my target note. So your target note is basically what we aiming for, which might not be a good music terminology, but it's the note we end our phrase on. It's the place we're going to. It's your sort of your end. So it's your target. Now chord tones again. Chord tones is basically, it means the notes in the chord. So if I was playing C sharp minor, those 6 notes that I played, they would be the chord tones. Now target notes and chord tones can sound sort of similar and they can be very confusing, but target note is where you stop. That's my target note. Now I'm busy vibrating like crazy. And your chord tones are the notes that make up the chord. Now even though we're playing 6 strings for C sharp minor, for example, I'm sure you're familiar with C sharp minor, I'm going to call out the notes as I play through them. I've got a C sharp, I'm going to show you my picking hand, C sharp, G sharp, another C sharp, E, then we're going to have another G sharp and a C sharp. So in essence, even though I'm playing 6 notes or 6 strings, I'm only playing 3 different notes, which happen to be C sharp, E and G sharp. Those 3 notes are my chord tones. If I duplicate them, it just means I'm playing more of them. But if you're looking at triads, for those that know the theory, your minor chords like I just played are triads. Tri means 3 note chord. There are 3 notes inside this chord, basically being C sharp, E and G sharp. And that's what's happening here. So we've got duplicate notes, C sharp, C sharp, C sharp, and G sharp, G sharp, and only one E lurking over there. So it's not about how many notes we have, but how many different notes we have. About octave don't count as different notes. Okay, so let's go back to it again. We start a little further, and that's your part of your C sharp minor chord. So your target note was here, and my target note was one of the chord tones. Now that's a very important thing to remember. If you want to get a melodic phrase, in other words, if you're not going, that was just a whole lot of notes going up and down the scale as fast as possible and just having some fun, which is also cool. There's nothing wrong with it. So if you got your inner sort of Ingrid Malmsteen going, that's cool. Okay, but if you're going for something more melodic, then you want to make sure you stop on one of the notes, target note, that make up the chord tone, the notes in the chord. So your target note should often, not always, should often be one of your chord tones. Okay, we got that. Next up over here, I'm sure you've got this on a just sort of rephrase it, so or re-go through it rather, sorry. Revise it's the word. We're going to go, I'm sure you recognize that part. Okay, we got that. Now, I'll just take it one more time, a bit more slower, because I want you to be able to play this. That's part of C sharp minor. There's your C sharp minor. And then he's going down diatonically, which is basically a fancy name for the notes in the key you're in. So you're in the key of E major, which is C sharp minor, they're related. This is not going to be a video on too much theory, otherwise the video is going to take 5 hours. Okay, we will cover all these things in different videos. So we're starting with a C sharp minor there, going through the other different chords in the key, not the chord, in the key. And this part here, those two notes there, I'm sure you got the tab with you. I have sent you a copy of the tab too. If you don't have a copy of the tab, this is for people that aren't my students. Please feel welcome to send me a email or contact me via that or WhatsApp me, and I'll be happy to send you a tab of the actual phrase itself. But onto this phrase here. Those notes there are part of C sharp minor down here. So that's also C sharp minor. So I'm going to draw the guitar a bit further back. There's C sharp minor, you can hear it. And there's C sharp minor. Different voicings, in other words, different ways to play the same chord. What's important over here is that John Mayer started with C sharp minor, capitalized on the C sharp minor, did some passing notes onto the target notes again of the C sharp minor, went past that to the double 4, and then jumped back to the C sharp minor, and that's a nice little hammer on there, double 9 with the first finger. Very important to make sure that the third string keeps ringing when you hammer on the top string. Back to the double 9, which actually implies a minor 7th. Don't want to get too much into the theory for that. And then we end up with, and that actually is a minor 7th, so we can't actually get away with the theory. Okay, so his first riff, that whole part where he goes super slow motion, in the C sharp minor, in the C sharp minor, C sharp minor, passing notes, C sharp minor, into, and that over there could also be seen as an E. Now, if you look in the chord tab in the PDF that's attached, or if you need the PDF again, contact me, that actually forms part of the G-shaped bar chord. So if you think about that, and I think finishing there, this is sort of ambiguous. In other words, you could see two possible chord options inside there. You could see that finishing part, that over there with a 9/11 hammer on, as part of the G-shaped bar chord, or you can see it as part of C sharp minor 7, C sharp minor 7. Because what's interesting, when we go into your triads and later into your quartets, which is something different, I don't want to go too much in this direction, this is more chord theory, but you'll find that in every single quartet is normally, not always, normally made of 2 triads. So basically with C sharp minor 7, you'll find a C sharp minor itself, and you'll also find a G, or E, sorry, G shape. That bit will confuse you there. It's a G shape, but playing the chord E, because that's an E bass note there that I'm playing at fret number 12, the double dot. You can see the double dot there. Okay, so that's what I like about John Mayer. He doesn't just play silly notes because it's sweet and it's cool. He actually plays notes that complement the chords. So to sum up the purpose of this video, it's not to teach you how to play slow dancing in the burning room, but to teach you how cleverly John Mayer put together the notes to complement the chord being played in the background. So while his keyboards are playing, or his rhythm guitarist is playing, for example, the chords that he's playing is all going to complement the chords. The riff's going to complement the chords. Okay, we got that. Now there is a second part of the solo as well, where it sort of goes really, really high. I'm just going to zoom in a bit better with this. Now we're looking at the part that goes over here. So it's really, really, really high up. You're looking at 12 and 14, onto 14 and 16, all the way up to 16 and 17. So slow motion. And I'm hoping that you can realize or hear that that's your target notes. And this over here happens to be part of, if my fingers are going to fit, you might laugh now, It's really high. I'm at fret number 16. If I were to play a C sharp minor chord inside there, if your fingers can manage to squeeze in there, I know mine are really battling. This is actually C sharp minor, the chord. It's probably not going to sound good. There we go. It's far too close. But what's important over here is that those two notes make up the C sharp minor triad. So again, he didn't just randomly think to himself, well, he didn't think, well, that sounds cool, I'm going to use it. He thought, well, that actually complements the C sharp minor chord. So everything that John's done again complements the chord. So when you're busy writing a song, or when you're busy sort of creating more of a melodic theme, if you would call it that, because obviously there's two ways we can treat lead guitar. The one way you can treat lead guitar as well. Let's have fun. We can just have some fun like that, or we can say, well, let's cleverly write something, not improvise now, and let's make sure that the notes complement the chords. I'm going to C sharp minor, I can play it there, so I can now go, and I can cleverly complement the chord and create a lead riff or a lead melody, something that's going to sound quite cool with it. So what I want you to do is I want you to try this, and I'm not going to finish with all the other phrases. I want you to look at the tabs that I sent you, look at the higher part, for example, and see if you can recognize, like when he goes to the part where he goes, he finishes in the 12-13, that at 12-13 over there. See if you can find out what chord that connects with, okay? Actually, I'm going to give it away. You'll notice there's an E inside there. It goes C sharp minor A E if you look at verse 1. Sorry, I couldn't resist this. Okay, you'll see if you look at verse 1, the chords go C sharp minor, and as he sings, it's not the storm before the calm. There's an E there. And those two notes, and this is important, but I wanted to show you so you can sort of start analyzing it. I want you to understand it's not just random notes. The notes complement the chords. Those two notes come from E. There they are. There's an E bar chord. You can see the E bar chord shaped there quite nicely. And there's the notes. So he's actually playing again the target note. So a very good example of how to use target notes, passing notes, and to understand how they complement the chords. A really good example is Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. Now there's still a few others there that I'm not going to comment on, maybe one or two, maybe three, I'm not going to give it away. See if you can find them, and then if you get stuck, let me know. Now, there is a bit of a helping chart on the side as well. Under guitar 1 and guitar 2, the tabs, the main riff and the higher part. And again, if you don't have a copy of the tab, drop me an email or WhatsApp me. I'll be more than happy to give it to you, no charge. And it shows you the actual C sharp minor voicings. I'm going to zoom out quickly. For example, there's a C sharp minor. You're looking at the A, and there's your E. But you'll notice those are the purple dots on the PDF. Again, need the PDF? Let me know. But the purple notes are the chord shapes: C sharp minor, A, E, and around it is a scale. So if I know my scale and I can visualize the chords inside the scale, in this particular one, I'm playing, which happens to be the G sharp Phrygian scale. We're not going to get into mode theory for those that want to sort of go too much into the sort of purist approach. But G for Gary, G sharp Phrygian is in the key of E, which is the key for the song. In other words, the notes found in the scale are actually found inside the key, and the chords will be found inside it respectively too. So I hope this helps a little bit over here. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. I hope you understand the concept of a target note and the keys and passing notes. Have a cool week. Cheers.